All right, so we have been talking about how it's important to model using the most efficient modeling tools. So I'm going to redo problem number 3-13 just to kind of show you a different way that, and then you can kind of compare the two as far as which you think is going to be the most efficient. So first thing I'm going to come up here is that we're going to double check, make sure that our units are in millimeters, since this drawing is in millimeters. So, and then I'm going to start by creating that sketch. We're going to create the sketch on the front view. So, and I'm going to basically draw the circle here. And the outside diameter of this part is 350 millimeters. So we'll place that. That's all I need. I'm going to click Finish Sketch. Go back to my home view. So we're going to extrude this back. So, and the depth here is 200 millimeters. So I'll extrude this back to the 200 millimeters. Hit enter. So I've got that form. Now, as I come back around here, so we're going to come back in and we're now going to use the hole feature. So part of drawing some of these stuff, oftentimes we're given certain dimensions or we're given an existing print. We have to kind of draw and create it from an existing print. So we're going to create this hole. Now, it wants us to select the face first. So I'm going to select the face. Then it wants the placement at a point. Well, we're going to use the center point here. It makes sense that we draw this as a center. Now, with it being that point placement, I don't have to select any X, Y, or Z reference planes. So, but we could use those there as well. In this case, I'm taking a look. Notice up here, the call out that's right here says we want a 100 millimeter hole with a 200 millimeter counterbore. That is what this symbol means, is 200 millimeter counterbore, and we're going to a depth of 125 millimeters. So let's change this to call type. So hole type here, we can have a simple hole, we can have a counterbore, or we can have a countersink. So we're going to go with the counterbore. Now, we also know the extents. We can place a distance, but we already know we want to go all the way through. So I'm going to change the extents to all instead of through. Now, at this point, it's just a matter of putting our dimensions in here. So I know that the dimension of the hole from the top part right here is 100 millimeters. So I'll type in 100. And notice the dimension here for the counterbore. So that's going to be 200 millimeter on that counterbore, and then this is showing the depth of the counterbore right here, which should be 125 because we're going 125 deep. So that takes care of that. I can come down here now. Got to move my window here, and we can click OK. So now we've got that hole. Let's click on here to kind of see. We can rotate it around, figure out exactly where we're at. And now we just need to kind of put the other dimensions and get this groove. So let's kind of go back here. We're going to create a sketch. At this point, I'm going to be sketching on this face of the part, and I'm just going to use a line. So now I can pick up the line. So notice it kind of picks up some points here. This is kind of tying that into the outside edge, and we want this to be at 90 degrees. So let's kind of come back in here, and I can tie that in. Let's dimensionally constrain this. So I'm going to say this line needs to be dimensionally constrained. So, and here's where we take a look. I drew that. It's 114 point whatever millimeters. We need to change this to 75. So there's the 75. And at this point, I'm going to try to do the mirror. So if I say I want to mirror, so it wants to know the object, which is going to be that line, and it wants to know the mirror line. Now, here we kind of have to start to think about, all right, what are we mirroring this across? Come back over here into our origins. So notice we can use our planes here. So we are actually going to mirror that around the YZ plane. So I'm going to select that YZ plane. So, and click OK. So now I have those lines. Now let's finish this sketch out and see if that will allow us to kind of use that geometry when we do our extrusion. So now if I go to extrude, I can extrude this and I can extrude that. And let's take a look here. So we need to go back. So, and this is going to be a cut here as well. And this is going to be minus minus 75 millimeters to cut that out. So there we go. A little 5.5 long video here to create this. Let's just double check. That's what it looks like in the front view. That's what it looks like in the side view. So everything is good to go. So I'm ready to create my actual drawing file. So let's come back here now to our drawing file. So notice we didn't save it, so let's save this. So this is going to be P3-13 hyphen your first initial followed by your full last name in chapter 3 problems. That's saved. Now again, because we are in millimeters, this came up with the ISO standard, so the International Standards Organization. We want to make that the ASME standard, and we're going to go ahead and keep this as a size A sheet for right now, just so you can kind of take a look at this and be able to print this out. And let's go ahead and click OK to get that in place. So notice, because of the size, it wants us to have this as a 1:8. So I'm going to change this to 1:4. So just so we're a little bit bigger here. So, and we'll place this view. Click OK. So notice how it comes up in terms of scale. So it didn't really give us what we wanted in terms of our scale. So here is my side view as well. Right click and hit OK, and that gives us the drawings as we would see it and as we see it there on our page. Now let's change some stuff here. Let's go back in and edit this view. Remember, it is saying 1:4 here, so it adjusted this. Let's bring it back to 1:8. So notice it shrinks some things down. Let's go ahead and add center hole marks and see if that does anything here. Not really. So, all right, but we got one more projected view. So I'm going to project up, and let's go ahead and get this over here as well. And I'm going to change that to make sure that it is a shaded view here. And now I have this to where it looks the way I want. So we've got the drawing. So let's just go ahead and save this. So notice it automatically comes up, P3-13 hyphen your initial, your last name, and the drawing. I can click save. And this is where I'm at and how I'm finished with this drawing.